Hello, good evening, guys. Dramatic developments today in Zimbabwe. The commander of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, General Constantine Chiwenga, has, he said a lot, and we've just started this discussion, to digest, share ideas, and basically dissect what he said. A lot of conclusions, speculations. What does it mean? What was Chiwenga saying? It's being suggested by some, as you are well aware from the reporting last week, that some people think Chiwenga was sacked by Mugabe, and that today was him basically shoving it in and saying, this is what I truly think. Some would say Anzi, he's going out guns blazing. So I'm going to invite you guys to share your ideas, motives, or what you make of what happened today. But yeah, man, pretty dramatic stuff. Musi Mupinyura Anzi Chiwenga wants Mnanga go back in the country. Okay, we're going to look at all these things. I'm going to play the video so that we can have a sense of what we want to discuss based on what Chiwenga himself has said. Now, remember, we had almost 90 senior army officers who were summoned to the army headquarters by Chiwenga. So, as commander of the defense forces, he summoned all these guys over. We saw Philip Valerio Sibanda. We saw many other army commanders who were there. So yeah, what do you guys make of this? Sylvester Tauraita Fumane, Jirise Baba, thank you for joining us. And yeah, thanks to Zimdi TV today. We had the press conference from Army HQ live. Yeah, I'm going to play. Doug Makonde Anzi was shiri there. I was looking at the video and I was looking for him. That's the first question that I had also. Sondon Stalin Mugaradziko, that was not only illegal but unconstitutional as well. Okay, here's the thing, guys. ZANU-PF are the ones who started involving the army in their affairs from way back. I remember when when they were facing the threat of Morgan Tsvangirai actually winning elections, they told us they would not salute people without liberation war credentials. So really, we don't want to hear people from ZANU-PF complaining about the involvement of the army, because honestly speaking, you are the first people who started involving the army in political affairs. So yeah, let me get what you guys think. Yeah, I mean, Moses Max Wakatama, someone needed to take a stand. Yeah, I think a lot of people hate Grace Mugabe, and people are looking for heroes, someone to stand up to the first family. And it does look like the general did just that, according to a lot of people. How is Mugabe going to react? This is what we want to look at, because this is almost an act of defiance. Chiwenga has basically said, if the purges of those with liberation war credentials continue, the army is going to step in. So we are not sensationalizing by saying Chiwenga has threatened a coup. He couldn't have been more clear than that. He basically said, if people with liberation war credentials keep getting purged from ZANU-PF, the army is going to step in. So we are not exaggerating anything. We are just quoting exactly what he said. Let's see if we can play the video from Zimdi TV. I'll try. I hope it's going to be clear. Thank you, Mkoma Sylvester, Tafumane, and crew. Let's see if we can play this for everyone. We want to dissect what Chiwenga was saying. So, Tumbotanga Tuona. Right.
Commander, Zimbabwe National Army, Acting Commander, Air Force of Zimbabwe, general officers, and senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I did not leave you members of the press welcome. Well, let us begin by quoting the constitution of this country, particularly the preamble which speaks of, and I quote, exalting and extolling the brave men and women who sacrificed their lives during the Chiwenga Umufikera and national liberation struggles, and honoring our forebears and compatriots who toiled for the progress of our country.
Okay, first things first. I've noticed there's General Philip Valerio Svanda, there's Douglas Nyikayaramba there, and of course we've got Chiwenga himself who's talking. Those who were there, please let us know if Parents Shiri was there. People are asking. Owen Muganda, there was acting commander of Air Force. He introduced him at the very beginning of the press conference. Okay. Francis Katsua, Anzi, why didn't they do a presser when General Mujuru was killed and when Mai Mujuru was sacked? Okay. Christopher Shidarikire is saying Shiri was there because the guy who is acting Air Marshal was in attendance. Okay. Musimu Pinyuri, Anzi Mugabe now has to swallow pride. Mnangagwa Mugabe and Tongogara are the trio of Zimbabwe, not because I like them. Douglas Makonde, and so the CDF had full backing of the general staff. Okay. Owen Muganda and Chiwenga specifically mentioned the extraordinary ZANU-PF Congress. There is special significance there. Oliver Mahata, General Chiwenga is not interfering. Okay. I'll add my first guest to this discussion, guys. Join in if you want us to talk about what's happening in Zimbabwe. Right. Okay. I'm adding a few guys here to the broadcast. There we go. Okay. While I'm waiting for people to join in, Oliver Mahatan, General Chiwenga is not intervening on behalf of ordinary Zimbabweans. He is intervening on behalf of a section of the ruling elite whose privileges and supposed entitlements are under threat. Konstantin Mambariza, Mugabe most probably doesn't even understand what's going on. He's an old man. Okay, guys. So opening a window here. Okay, so yeah, I'll read your comments while I wait for the first guest to join. Mzvare Princess Betimakoni, regai ndinyore neshona twinzisisane salutation yaenda kune chikwata saka vese vakuru varipo. Richard Kunaka, Anzi Mnangagwa and Chiwenga helped Mugabe in 2008 regain power. General election after being thoroughly defeated, so the army is part and parcel of ZANU-PF matrix. Right, Doug Makonde, so he had both general staff and senior military officers. The question everyone is asking is, how does Mugabe respond? How does Mugabe respond to Zvaitika Nasi? Is it a case? See, I'm talking to various sources here, and what they are telling us is that Chiwenga was fired, and so this was an act of defiance. Announcement here, official. This is just a theory. And this was an act of defiance. So we'll see, what's the reaction from the president. Remember, Chiwenga had this press conference. It was not broadcast on ZTV, I understand. I understand Nancy, they were actually playing Zimbabwe Warriors Legends match against Barcelona. So the state media completely ignored this. Okay, my first guest. Let's see who's going to join us here. Mzware Betimakoni, can we add you? Make sure your phone is on landscape if you want to join in and contribute. Okay, Timos Chimondo, make sure your phone is on landscape. Right, Tinos, did you say? What do you make of what happened today?
Unoona Mkomalanzi. Chokutanga ndechekuti I want to agree with pane amboisa comment yokuti Chiwenga haasi kuda kubetsera ruzhinji rweZimbabwe. Chiwenga
haasi kuda kubetsera kudii?
Chiwenga,
sorry, phone yange yabreka. Mati Chiwenga haasi kuda kubetsera chii?
haasi kuda kubetsera ruzhinji rweZimbabwe kuti tibve mu crisis yatinayo, but ari kuda kubetsera a certain group of people. Andika? Because kana ndaona kuti Chiwenga is biased, ko pakadzingwa mai mujuru akadi kuita press conference.
Yes. Okay, so you don't think this is at all an objective intervention based on being principled? Faction yake yarowa,
yeah.
Candidate yavo yadzingwa and they are angry.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even based on any moral grounds, but iye atori ku certain faction saka zvakumurwadza, because remember kuti pakadzingwa mai mujuru nonga vakadzingwa over vanhu 100, but so far tikatarisa vanhu vati vadzingwa na padzingwa Mnangagwa havasati vasvika 50.
Okay, yeah. Ndiri kunzwa theory yekuti hanzi Mugabe anogona kunge akatodzinga Chiwenga kudhara wamudzinga nhasi kwanga ngosara kuannouncer, and this was an act of defiance yekungoti ndichiri commander mandiunganidze mauto nditaure zvandinoda kutaura. What do you make of that? It's just speculation.
Inogona kuva speculation, but what I can say is zvataurwa naChiwenga nhasi zvamisa pariski huru, because munhu iko zvino abata nyanga dzenyika tomuziva tese kuti ndiani, asi mudhara.
Okay.
Munhu iyeyeka is one of the people vanga achitaurwa chinzi havana mawo credentials and what. Saka fungai kuti after this press conference vanhu veG40 vanoreacta sei? Obviously they are pushing for his ouster kuti adzingwewo iye Chiwenga.
But do you think Chiwenga had this press conference and he had 90 senior army officers? Do you think Mugabe and his wife, G40, can outthink and out-strategize army pakaita so? Because I think Zimbabwe right now is in a delicate balancing act, and who really is in charge? Do you think Mugabe can stamp his authority and show that he's the one who's in charge?
The thing, munona zvinoita varume vaya vanogona kunge vauya vakawanda sezviya izvi, but ivo havarwika varume vaya. Kune vanhu vanorwa, handitika kuri kuti kwadaitwa military intervention, kune vakomana vanorwa, vakomana vari zasi, vakomana vanorwa vaya chokutanga ndechokuti tisakanganwa kuti vanhu vanotori munhamowo vari kutambura. Saka they lacked motivation yokuti nyange vakanzi nhasi irwaika, ndioni vachibudirira vana Chiwenga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mukoma. That's Tinos Chimondo joining us. Thank you a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, guys. We are dissecting the press conference held by the commander of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, General Constantine Chiwenga, at the Army HQ. He was joined by 90 senior army officers, basically saying the purge of ZANU-PF members must stop. So we are sure this has been precipitated by the sacking of Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Chris Chiwara, I'm adding you. Make sure your phone is on landscape. I'll be doing less talking, guys. I'm just giving you a platform to talk. Make sure your phone is on landscape. And Dichika, when I'm adding you, if your phone is on landscape, you'll be able to join. Tifanan. Okay, I'll be reading comments while we're waiting for Chris to join. Juran Mofa, I've never seen a foolish commander in this world who makes a threat for a coup. Chiwenga has foolish advisors. Timothy Stamboli, what does army protocol say in terms of press statements? Was Chiwenga approved by his boss, or he acted without his boss's consent? Does this not have repercussions on Chiwenga if he breached protocol? Charlton Wende, Chiwenga is out of order and delusional. He must not abuse the military in order to threaten an opposing faction and prop up his own ZANU-PF faction. Let's try and bring in Charlton Wende. Mkoma Charlton Wende. Just a few seconds from you, Tingon's War, what you think. Make sure your phone is on landscape. If you put your phone on landscape, we can hear what Charlton Wende has to say. Some good points being made there. If we remember, these are the same people who say they would not salute Morgan Changra if he won. So, nasi zvinenge zvaakwavo. Make sure your phone is on landscape, Mr. Wende. I think people would love to hear what you have to say. Okay, we're waiting for Charlton Wende to join us. Betimako Nanzi speech again, Shona and English, very different. Doug Makonde, so it means he has refused to go and is now showing that the military has power over civilian politicians. Sondon Stalin Mugaradziko, what's happening, Lance? Okay, Loda Emma Konese Toeda. Loda Emma Konese, I'll be adding you guys. Okay, so basically, those who are just joining, we're just discussing General Chiwenga's press conference today, where he basically said the purges in ZANU-PF must stop or the military will intervene. So a lot of people are looking at this as a direct threat to Mugabe, his wife, and the G40 faction. So today, Tungo Tandara, basically, as we always do, guys, Tichingo discuss, what this means. Hans Gilbert, which I don't understand why people think the army will follow or abide by the constitutions. They're only interested in having war. Okay. I'm adding Hans Mishek Kolonyoni. According to Dabengwa, Mugabe was briefed by Chiwenga before the press conference. Okay, guys, my hands were Engolio. And according to Dabengwa, Mugabe was briefed by Chiwenga before the press conference. Yeah, I thought listening to the... Yes, Chris Chiwara, thank you for joining us.
Tamar, ini mandiri hangu usabudisa picture because mandiri ndemogurara.
Nabasa, your comment, Chete.
Now,
Content is more important. What do you make of what happened today?
are we surprised really by what happened today? Personally, I'm not, and I knew that was coming. But I think there are two sides to it. It's good for the country, but it's bad for politics. Because
okay, what do you mean by that?
What I'm thinking is, I'm thinking at the moment, I think he has shown whatever people may want to try and do to destabilize the country, especially within ZANU-PF, there's always somebody who is watching on what's happening, and they are not going to let it go the way other people want it. And I think this was a direct threat to people like Jonathan Moyo, who I think is on record of being the man behind all these things that are happening in ZANU-PF. And also, the bad part of it is, if we look at the role of the military in the country, it should remain apolitical. They shouldn't take sides. By him coming out in defense of ZANU-PF only as if it's the only party in Zimbabwe, I think that's wrong. And it doesn't, argue well with the democratic institution that . . . 。  . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
thank you for your contribution. That's Chris Chiwara joining us. I think his last point there, he wanted to say it doesn't augur well for the democratic dispensation in the country. But I think it's a bit too late for that. The army has been interfering. The army in 2008, when Mugabe lost elections, the army interfered, and we had Operation Mavotra Papi, where over 200 army officers were deployed countrywide. Hundreds of people were killed. So the army has been interfering in our politics. You know, ZANU-PF would want you to believe that the army should not interfere. But ZANU-PF is in power because of the army, particularly 2008. Saka, you know, they are just being hypocrites, I think. Tom Dave Yukundishorans, what is the position of JOC as opposed to the army? Where is Chiwuri, for instance? Tendai Eduardo Chiro, you don't threaten a coup, you do it. I smell a rat and Mugabe's hand. Doug Makonde, but Grace issued orders to the military structures. Christopher Shidari Kire, Chiwenga is claiming the firing of combatants, including Maimjuru. Listen carefully. Listen carefully, said targeting of liberation comrades. Yeah, so Shidari Kire is saying Chiwenga also included Mujuru in his speech. Musimu Pinyuri, there will be no elections, mark my words. Oliver Mahata, Chiwenga is serving at the mercy of RGM on a month-to-month contract. Lance Moyo, Mugabe is part of today's press conference. Mugabe is smarter than we all think. Okay, Bruce, adding Bruce, make sure your phone is on landscape. Tell us what you think, guys. I think Messi Mawacha press conference, you've read articles on it. This is your platform. Tell us what you think. Bruce, just make sure your phone is on landscape. That way you'll be able to join us. While we're waiting for Bruce, let me read some more comments. Okay. If you want me to add you, please put a comment there and just say add me. Banditi, just add a comment there, I'll add you. Teurai Rugonye, we must be careful. Mugabe is not a fool at all. He knows what he is doing. He is trying to avoid elections at all costs. Okay. Silvanos Banditi, I'm trying to add you. There we go. Activist Silvanos Banditi Mzoa joining us. Make sure your phone is by landscape, Banditi. Phone guy by landscape. Okay, we're waiting for Silvanos to join. Musum Pinyuri, let them eliminate each other. Zimbabwe is on the brink of freedom. Right. Itai David Chiwenga. Chiwenga has fallen into Mugabe and G40 trap by confirming his allegiance to the Lacoste faction. He has made the job easier for Mugabe to fire him. Right. Silvanos, I'm adding you. Make sure your phone is going to landscape.
Yeah.
Banditi, thank you for joining us. Say.
Yes, lads, what is saying?
Muse. Urugubi, where are you joining us from?
University of Manchester.
University of Manchester. Okay, you watched the press conference today. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's like a repetition of what Grace Mugabe has actually been saying. You listen to the last 3 rallies. She openly said, if army wants to kill her, let them kill her. And if she was not afraid to die, so they've been knowing about this thing for a very long period of time. Unfortunately, we concentrated on the bigger speeches rather than those simple words that she was actually bringing out. they've known about this situation of the army for a long period of time. And there is something that they are not telling us, something beneath. Look at the silence. Look at what happened when Maimujuru was dismissed. How powerful the state media worked. The Herald, ZBC, Chronicle, Ziana. Now they are silent about this issue. They are only throwing when perceived friends of Mnangagwa are actually fired. Those are the ones that they are commenting about. No comment about Mnangagwa, except the day that he was fired. No any other follow-up article. Today, they even removed from Twitter and their page the articles about the press conference, which means there are quite a number of things that are happening behind the scenes that we are not being told. So it was a press statement that was given to us, but what is it that is happening behind the scenes that they are not telling us is what is critical at this time. We are failing to read in between the lines.
Let me ask,
what is exactly happening.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Chiwenga is going to survive after this press conference? What do you see happening after?
Well, number one, if Chiwenga just throw in the press statement without being prepared, he's gone. That is clear. But at the same time, don't underestimate these people. They've been together for a very long period of time. They know each other. And we might be surprised at the end of the day, Mugabe was aware of this press conference. Because if they have the security, like they always claimed, they know everything that is happening. He knew that there were 60 generals at army headquarters. He knew that he had invited journalists for a press briefing. And highly likely, he was actually having that same press briefing before it was actually aired. So we are not so sure what is exactly happening. If the generals, they do not have option B, they are gone. But surprisingly, the generals are actually releasing such kind of a statement when they are on contracts that are renewable each and every 2 or 3 months. That is shocking. Why did they do that? Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
So
someone was suggesting my comments Mokuti Dabengwa is saying Chiwenga briefed Mugabe about the press conference before he held it. Saka, there's a sense Yaguti Mugabe's hand is either Mugabe was aware or all this is being played out and carefully calculated.
Yes, which is one of those things. But I at the moment, I foresee our very good professor, actually, for one, he might be one of the people who might be sacrificed in the next few coming weeks or days. Because Mugabe also need to assure...
You mean Jonathan Moyo?
Yes. Mugabe need to assure his liberation comrades that he's still with them. He still thinks about them. He knows about them. And to give them that assurance, he has got to act. Which is one thing. It's 24 hours is a lot of time in politics, and anything is possible at this time. You know, you find that the general statement, he didn't even mention about Mnangagwa. They are having maybe their own concerns about what is happening, which is critical. And it's true. Everyone with a liberation background is actually being sacrificed, you know, which is very critical. They also need to protect their own. It might, at the end of the day, have nothing to do with Mnangagwa. Because...
Okay, let me just ask you a final question, Silvanos Banditi Muzoa. Do you see a way back for Mnangagwa? Do you think today's events will encourage Mnangagwa?
Well, a lot of people would say that actually that the lizard is actually a lizard. But all of a sudden there is a change, a shift in the mindset of many things, of many minds. Now they are saying the crocodile is back, which is like the perception that always happens. At the moment, I don't foresee him coming very soon, unless there is something that is happening behind the scenes.
Okay. We seem to have lost your sound, Sylvanus. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Sorry, but thanks. Okay, guys, let me read a few comments before I add some more people. Doug Makonde, it's not easy to fire an army general. Tables can easily turn against the president. Musimpinuri, if Grace Mugabe rules Zimbabwe, I'll just have to go to the ladies' toilet. Teurai Rugonya, I didn't hear threat to Mugabe at all. If anything, it's a threat to the G40. Okay. Vitalis Mbaira, I'm adding you there. Make sure your phone's on landscape, guys. Okay, I'm trying to give everyone as much of a chance as possible. Vitalis, Ndep.
Yes, Lance.
Say.
Pana White Baza Zilise.
Why won a press conference, Nas?
Right, press conference they won, Lance. And what I wanted to say is that Mugabe was not elected to lead ZANU. To those who know our history, Mugabe was installed by generals at Mugagawa to lead ZANU. He arrived back in Zimbabwe in 1980 to be voted to lead Zimbabwe and not ZANU-PF. So what it means is that the generals who installed him in that position can remove him in the same manner. I understand that this is bad for politics. But look, we have been trying politics since 1980, and this is 2017. This is 37 years after. Tsvangirai has been in the trenches for 18 years now. A lot of us actually believe that he has won elections over and over again, but it has not brought any change. So for anyone to really think that let's place our faith on an election, that the generals should have not done what they have done, we should have waited for politics to lead the way. Politics will not bring any change. Mugabe was at the verge of creating a dynasty in front of everyone. We saw all those masses of ZANU-PF who were being hoodwinked and who have been bulldozed to attend those rallies, cheering Grace Mugabe to denounce everyone, including Tsvangirai, ED, and everyone. So what it means is that while it is important for people to always place hope on politics, but politics would have never stopped Mugabe from creating a dynasty now. Only the generals, only the military could stop Mugabe to say, this is wrong, you cannot do that. So
you get the sense, Kuti, over the last couple of weeks or months, Grace Mugabe has been building a power.
Yeah.
And people are so desperate for anyone to stand up against her.
Yeah.
They are willing to support anyone who challenges a Mugabe dynasty.
That's correct. That is the point. Because I think what is there and what is very clear is that Zimbabweans are tired. The voter apathy which you see in Zimbabwe, even amongst MDC members themselves, is that they have lost hope that an election can bring change. That is why it is very difficult for anyone to try and make people register to vote, because people have lost faith in the system. And for anyone to believe that let's go and register to vote, there is now a biometric system which will allow us to vote, which will allow ZANU-PF not to rig. It's ZANU-PF which is running the election. It's ZANU-PF which has got the system in place. Mugabe was definitely going to install his wife in the seat of power, in front of politics, in front of the voting masses. And I think the army has done a very good thing now to stop him, because they are the only people who can stop him, because they are the ones who put him in that seat in the first place. He was not elected.
You get the sense the army have been using the war vets.
Yeah.
They were in the background, Mama war vets to be saying these things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they're now actually directly saying it publicly at a press conference.
Of course. I think the previous speaker spoke about it. Even if you also even touched on it. In 2008, when it was clear that Tsvangirai had won, Mugabe made a bluff and even admitted in public that Tsvangirai had won an election. Tsvangirai did not win just the 2008 election. He won the 2002 election. He won the 2013 election. He won it. The thing is that the military has always been running that country behind the scenes. Mugabe knows that.
Okay.
Yeah.
My final question for you. After today's press conference where Chiwenga had all those 90 senior army officers,
Right.
what happens tomorrow? Do you think he will still be commander of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces tomorrow?
Definitely, definitely. In fact, what my reading of the situation is that General Chiwenga must have had an engagement with Mugabe before going public, and they must have disagreed on the way forward. And Chiwenga has actually said that, okay, fine, if you do not want to agree with us, because I think the message was that dump G40 and we stand with you, or else we are going public and we are going opposite direction. We have seen what the war veterans have said. We have seen what Mchangwa has said. They have said we have fired Robert Mugabe and his wife and his G40 from ZANU-PF. Why are they saying that? They are saying that because Mugabe was not elected to lead ZANU. That's the point people miss. Mugabe was installed to lead ZANU by generals at Mugagao in Zambia. He was not elected to lead that. That was an equivalent of a coup. Mugabe came to power through a coup. It was a coup on Stole, because Stole was actually a leader who had been elected at Congress, and Mugabe was installed there by generals and was not elected. That was a coup. So he should go the same manner. He came by a coup and he should live by a coup.
Okay, that's Vitalis Mbaira. Mkoma, thank you so much for your contribution. Where are you getting us from? Murugubi?
I'm in Uxbridge, London.
Uxbridge, London. Thank you so much for your time, Anditika.
Thank you so much, Lance.
Okay, Mbaira joining us. Okay, guys, if you want to join, let me know. Ngonyora in my comments mode, add Timothy Stamboli. As we end today, this whole line is G40 and the G40 I think one got that G40, you said G40 dash and 1 Lacoste. Okay, and as we stand today, the score line is G40, 1 Lacoste, been awarded a penalty, but the match has been abandoned due to no lighting. Okay, Roy Colin Nyashanu, Chaipa Chinas, Ivan Do. Okay, I'm adding you. Make sure your phone is on landscape. Okay, guys, I'm going to try and give as many people a chance to talk as possible. And so maximum 2 minutes per person. Make sure your phone is on landscape. Ivan Do, make sure your phone is on landscape. It's connecting. Mr. Ndo, thank you for joining us.
Mr. Lens, how are you?
Mushe. My watch press conference, Nas.
Yes, I did. But see, there's a lot of fun stuff about that conference. The thing is, Chiwenga is addressing ZANU-PF infighting. He's not addressing the national. He's an army commander, not ZANU-PF commander. He's not representing ZANU-PF. He's representing the whole country. So why is he concerned about the squabbles that are happening in a party? Is he concerned about the squabbles that are happening in MDC?
Okay, he answered that though. I think he answered that though. He said ZANU-PF is the ruling party, so any instability in the ruling party will affect the nation. I think that was his argument.
See, but the problem is what happened? Did he hold a press conference when Mujuru was killed?
Yeah, that's true.
But did he hold a press conference when another vice president, Joyce Mujuru, was killed? Was kicked out of ZANU? Wasn't that also part of the instability that ZANU-PF was going through?
Good point.
Okay, so where was the press conference?
Do you see Chiwenga surviving this though? Do you think he will still be general tomorrow?
I think even for him to come on to have that press conference, I think I've got a feeling he's already been fired, but he's just refusing to leave, because to be very frank with you, that's internal party politics that is engaging himself into. It has nothing to do with him. his job is to protect Zimbabweans of all. He's a national leader. He's a national. He's supposed to protect the country as it is, not to worry about the individual, the politics of individuals. No. So another thing is, if you look at it from this way as well, he's also trying. He knows that the ouster of Mnangagwa is most likely is going to get chopped if he's not chopped already. So he's trying also to protect himself. He's trying to put fear in Mugabe that no, if you cannot do this to us. But in reality, that is hogwash. Simple that. There is nothing of substance that guy was saying. It's all about the fact that the person of their preference, who is Mnangagwa, is been put on the sword. That's what they're trying to protect at the moment. The good, what on a positive note, anything that takes Mugabe out of power, out of power is good. Whether it's army, it's the police, or it's you, or it's me, it's good. But the problem is,
Okay.
these guys, what they're creating now, if they're gonna do this, you were saying something, Lance?
Okay, you are breaking up. Thank you for your point. Where are you joining us from? Murugubi?
I'm in Melbourne.
That's Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
How is the weather there? What do you say?
It's very warm. Today is very warm and nice. So we're not like in UK. You guys, you're always living in the fridge.
No, thank you, Mkoma Ivan Doe, joining us all the way from Australia. Thanks a lot, man.
No worries, man.
Okay. Ivan Doe there. Mabani Kennedy, they fear their past conduct, and it's either ZANU-PF must fall, change must come from whoever instigated the issue, is to create for opposition forces to get struck. Generals are appointed by Mugabe. Wake up, Mazimba. That's Tendai Bright Bongani Moyo. Bruce Wekwan Singo, he was supposed to act, not to warn. Okay. Let me just make sure. And you are supposed to act, not to warn. Prosper Manyangadze, checkmate. Agrippa Zulu Dendedza, okay. Mzware Betimakoni, half a loaf is better than nothing. Vere Chiwawa Garanyanya Mavesere. Okay, I'm adding you. Okay. This is your platform, guys. Whatever you want to say, join us. Anditika, you don't have to be a political analyst to join this show. Any Zimbabwean who is passionate about politics, join us and tell us what you think. Make sure your phone is on landscape, Mr. Mavesere. Make sure your phone is on landscape. You'll be able to join. Okay, while we're waiting for Mr. Mavesere, I'm reading out my comments. Right, Gladys Musora. Did you watch AC Lumumba's video today? Too much confusion right now. That's Gladys Musora. Joseph Govere. Okay. Make sure your phone's on landscape. I'll add you guys. Right. We're adding Joseph. I'll read out your comments. Oliver Maha, and we haven't heard a general being court-martialed. Okay, guys. Make sure your phone is on landscape so that I can add you. It will allow us to connect quite easily. Yeah, so those of us who are just joining this broadcast, we are analyzing the implication of or the implications of the press conference by General Constantine Chiwenga today. He held a press conference at the Army HQ. So we are told there were close to 90 senior army officers there. And yeah, we're just analyzing kunzwa kuti what do you guys make. Gladys Msola, I also think they don't want elections. Ambi ngwana wa Rose ba bandiswana ambition. Join us pela ambition. Okay. Avoid Masiraha. It's a much ado about nothing. Mugabe will not respond, and the pressure will be on Chiwenga as he has done. Okay. There we go. It is Antina avoid Masiraha. It's a much ado about nothing. Mugabe will not respond, and the pressure will be on Chiwenga as he has gone out of his constitutional mandate. Later, Mugabe will respond by sacking him through divide and rule tactic. Okay, Masimbata Auya, Mugabe is in control. I now believe these guys are playing a game. Vanozivana pasina izvozvo Chiwenga anonyura netreason. Benjamin Tawanda Munza through Gladys Msola. It's now confusing. Okay. Kennedy Mabani. There we go. Make sure your phone's on landscape, guys. Right. And Kennedy Mabani, what's happening is a process of creating a vacuum for a better political environment. Kennedy Mabani ausubatika or ningongwa kubatika. Shelton Tapiwa Chiangwa. Okay, I'm trying to add you, Shelton. Noreen Wells, nothing is going to happen. There is no challenge to Mugabe or ZANU-PF. Join us, Noreen. Don't you wanna? Gladys Msora, Anzi, there is 48 hours to respond, so let's wait and see. Abigail Rangi, Anzi, powerful speech. Edwell Mija, I'm watching. Joshua Karmazondo, this sounds like there's an issue that is now spiraled out of control. Okay, guys. Obed Mdevere Ngube, I'm adding you. Make sure your phone is on landscape. There we go. While we're waiting for Obed, Elijah Muchesa, Chiwenga's job has been on the line for a while. I think the generals are fully aware of the consequences of his press conference, and he is ready to face the music. Here we go. Vitalis Mbaira, generals will not go anywhere. Generals installed Mugabe in that position. They still can remove him there. What contracts? It's just a piece of paper. Let me explain my point, Lance. Okay, we got you. We added you. Here we go. Obed, I'll give others a chance. Make sure your phone is on landscape, please. If your phone is on landscape, it will not connect. Okay. There we go. Right. Nkulego Mkastos Banda. The guy is right. Mugabe likely knew about the press conference and the generals are managing their situation. Farai Munemo, anything is possible with ZANU-PF. Garwe might come back. Agrippa Shakazulu, add me. I'm trying to add you, but there's no green camera there, so I don't think your phone can connect. Chris Chwara, it's fair to say ZANU-PF and ZNA, that's Zimbabwe National Army, and ZANU-PF have never been separated, and that shouldn't surprise anyone following events in Zimbabwe. This is a new chapter in Zimbabwe, and a military takeover is on the cards. Nkululeko Sibanda, Chiwenga has no control of the army. Samanyika Wenaro, I'll comment after tomorrow. Can't bring Shelton Chiangwa on the phone. And this is actually saying Uramba Shelton. I'm trying. Mavi said I'll try you again. Make sure your phone is on landscape. Okay, so while we're waiting for Mavesere, yeah, man, this is ZANU-PF has relied on the army for a very long time, so it's a bit rich and hypocritical to hear them complaining about the army. I'm of the view ZANU-PF, when it suits them, need the army, and when it doesn't, they start complaining. So there's no sympathy from some of us. Our position is Pedzerana Ikoko. Really, yeah. Betty Makoni, his speech downplayed disloyalty. Shelton Tapiwa Chiangwa, the generals must remove uniforms and join mainstream politics. Chiwenga is bluffing. Owen Muganda, the press conference was attended by the top military brass. I think it's naive to think that Mugabe will just fire the general. I think it's the army flexing its muscles. Hanzi, remember, after Ed was fired, the general went to... Okay, comment Gurika, I don't know why. Sandra Magogo Maposa, where was Parents Shiri? Musumpinyuru, yes, Mugabe was never elected but appointed by the military. DJ Maxo, Parents Shiri passed on long time ago. Nkululeko Sibanda, Hanzi Mnangagwa is more of the Mugabe dynasty. Mnangagwa is more of the Mugabe dynasty than Grace Mugabe. Okay. Let's see. I'm adding a few people. Musimu Pinyuri.
Hello, Lance.
Thank you for joining us.
I remember you from Harare Polytechnic. Who found Harare?
Long time, man.
Dima my comrades came in. Nelson Chamisa, Nelson Wende, even Yan Changrai knows him. Dima is Zimbabwe. What's happening in Zimbabwe right now? You answer new. Chiwenga. Somebody backing. Somebody ya outcast. You see right, and because Chiwenga na Mnangagwa, we all know. Ishamari. I don't really better. Apart solo up. What's happening in Zimbabwe? It's all who you know. And they're disturbing each other now. It's a shame now that we don't have a vibrant opposition party now to take over. And I remember the days of yourself, late Lenmo Jongwe. I wish he was still alive, that guy. Joangani is Zimbabwe. But let's watch what's happening right now. In Zimbabwean politics, you never know. I don't know much about it. But it's a step forward. Military have taken now.
Do you see Chiwenga still being general tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah, you'll be general. There's no way you can fire a general. There's no way you can fire a general. There's no way you can fire a general because Mugabe knows. It's like.
But it's not he who can appoint can disappoint.
All right,
okay.
Mugabe
did the appointing, he can remove.
Lads, let him fire Chiwenga tomorrow, and let's see where we'll be heading to.
Okay, so where are you? Nice one.
Anyway, Lance, I remember your days. Remember your days, Nana, you were with Chamisa, Lenmo Jongwe, the late. My days in Utili Barre Polytechnic, and this one is Zimbabwe. I wish we were that vibrant. I want Musikas were very bored because we were very brave. Central CBD was closed for 2 days.
Thank you for joining us.
Anyway, what's happening in Zimbabwe now, I think it's more positive. Gava eliminated each other now. We're watching the game. Let them eliminate each other on a more serious note, but I don't see Chiwenga going. And Mnangagwa is a bigger force than you believe. You watch the space. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Lance.
Okay. Musimo Pinyuri, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All the way from UK.
From Exeter. Thank you.
Exeter. Thanks a lot, eh? Okay, guys, I'll add a few more people. And let me know if you want to join. Lodza Emma Konese. Make sure your phone is on landscape. I'll read out my comments while I wait. Mzware Betmakoni Grace is not based at all. Army showed they don't like her. Nkulego Svanda, Zimbabweans want any army takeover. Teorai Rugonye, Parents Shiri was present in this meeting. Shelton Tapiwa Chiangwa. Please make sure your phone is on landscape. Don't connect. If you don't put your phone on landscape, it won't connect. Shelton Tapiwa Chiangwa, you are lying there, Comrade Vitalis. MDC members are still confident with the election process. Musim Pinyuranzi, today's conference is just to warn Mugabe. Jim T. Katai Ndukwa. Chiwenga has done his risk assessment. Okay. Connection failed. All right. Sylvia Lorraine Parsons. You have to join us, Nas. We don't have any women participating in these discussions. I always wonder why. Put your phone on landscape, Sylvia. Does this mean women in general are not interested in politics? I'm just asking a question now. It's not a statement. Sylvia Lorraine Parsons, I'm adding you. Put your phone on landscape. You can switch off the lights as Nabasa, as long as we hear what you want to say. We don't have to see you. Okay, while we're waiting for Sylvia, Teorai Rugonye, Chiwenga is going nowhere. He is there and will remain there. That's when you think at your best, when you are nice and relaxed. Okay.
And ndinofunga kuti Chiwenga angoenda kungomuka asina kutanga aita risk assessment yake. Ari kuziva zvaaita nezvaakaita. And of course tingangoti zvedu.
Okay. So you think by Mangwana Chiwenga will still be commander of
atori ndo zvandiri kufunga ina. Ndifunga kuti angosimuka kana kuti angoita defiance. There's something zvaitika between him and Bob. Maybe there was a disagreement. They couldn't agree on one or two things. Ndobva ati ndakuita press conference. Ndopfungwa dzangu ini. But yes, chazoitika mangwana tozviziva. But I think he's prepared. And we might say, do kuti ari kusupporta
because also
Tingangoti ari one-sided because he's not talking of the opposition. What have you? At the moment, atina nebasa nezvaizvozvo. Chabvisa chinongobvisa Bob pachigaro chete neG40 ndo chatiri kuda. Zvimwe tozozvona mashure. Ndopfungwa dzangu inini.
But fact yekuti ZBC iri kunzi ignore press conference yake might suggest kuti maybe anga asina complete support yaMugabe to have this press conference, and it.
Yeah, which means there was a disagreement. I'm going to do it my own way. Ndopfungwa dzangu dzandinadzo. I think they actually talked, but he came back from China. I think after China, I think they had a meeting. I think they disagreed on one or two issues. So what I'm going to give a press statement. So you can say we are not going to cover you. Of course, I fight a connection Maria Kate obvious. Those are friends. One Pindrana one wire. I fight a connection Maria. Of course, are now.
Plus, it looks like also my war veterans. My army generals are the same message. They seem to be fighting against Grace Mugabe and G40.
Kufunga kwangu ana mtsvango vaya vese vari kwaChiwenga vari kusaidi rekuarmy. That's why uyo achingotava zvaanoda because ariziva kuti ane kona yakazembera. Anzani mutsvango kwaya zvaari kutaura zviya ariziva paakazembera. and anyatsoziva kuti ndikadai ndinozodai, because ndiye munhu asiri kutombodzora tsvimbo zvachose. But kuti pakati disagreement, ndofunga kuti there was a meeting somehow somewhere and they disagreed on certain issues. Could do this, if you don't do this, I'm going to do this. Of which I think Bob, this press conference anga achiziva, but anga asingai support. Saka angoti nda kuita ndinoti unondiita sei. Chiwenga hapana zvaanombomuita, anenge atori pamangwana. Waona zvataurwa naNingirikiri. Waona tweet yaitwa naJonathan Moyo. Atwita ka izvozvi. Hanzi muri ungoukura muchingoukura. Isi takangovata zvedu takati zete. Izvozvi.
That's a nice one.
Hanzi muri ungoukura muchingoukura isi takavata hedu tiri zete. Izvozvi manje apa.
But it has been obvious for quite some time kuti Jonathan Moyo has been enjoying protection ya Mugabe, and that almost ndianotumwa kuita all
manje, can I tell you
childish
someone who's going to
attacks.
sacrifice the panyaya if Jonathan is not very careful? Acha sacrifice panyaya iyi. Tiri kumuchema manje. Ndiyo mwana tiri kuona kuti ari kufarisa zvake, achapinda pa crossfire manje. Because ndiye anenge ari kuengineer.
He's almost acting like an excited school prefect. Achimhangarira vanhu achi
Kanti munhu wese ari kuengineer nyaya dzese dzaka vanhu vese apa ndi Jonathan Moyo. I think he's the brain behind zvese zviri kuitika izvi. Even he's the brain behind my Mugabe. Could you do this? Go and say this. Go and do this. Go and say this. I think these people, they have meetings all the time before Grace Asatabuda. Asatatombo with my meetings are go and say this and that. But zvekuti Chiwenga angosumuka. Inini ndiri kuita question mark in. Of course tingati ari haasi kusupporta azongopinza yake kuti what is happening in ZANU-PF zvino affect the whole country. But tingangoti yes, it affects us because ZANU is the government, isn't it? Team administration is ZANU. Whatever happens in ZANU affects us as well. He said the correct thing, but azongotaura zvake asi zvanyanya murwadza kudzingwa kweshamwari yake kwakunonya mufadza. Kana mbofunga shamwari yake ingadzingwe.
My final question for you, mu press conference yake Chiwenga ari kuti ZANU-PF has been infiltrated by counter-revolutionaries and that vari kutargeta vanhu vakarwa hondo. Do you agree with this statement?
Because ikando vari kudzingwa wacho anditi Ningirikiri Grace from the word go pakatanga chaipo aiti muda kushamisa fanga makarwa hondo pana asina kurwa hondo kunoshamisa chi. You remember tenga my first days yaja ngwa mjuru akati munoshamisa kurwa hondo kunoshamisa chi. Saka tingati G40 kutargeta vanhu vakarwa hondo tingazvirambere because mai Mugabe said it nemuromo wavo parally kuti kurwa hondo kunoshamisa chi hapana asina kurwa hondo. Akazvitaura mai saka tingangoti it's true ari kutargeta vanhu vakarwa hondo. Saka hatingazvirambe because when she started my interfaces that's exactly what she said. Saka I don't know what is going to happen.
Okay, that's Sylvia.
24 hours is a long time in politics. Ngatimire kusvika mangwana apera. Toda kuona response ya Bob, but I don't see him responding tomorrow. He might respond, but not tomorrow. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to respond. But I'm writing a meeting.
No. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution, guy.
I wasn't prepared today. I didn't want to contribute today.
No, you're always prepared.
No, I'm not ever prepared.
Thanks
okay,
a lot,
thank
guy.
you. Good night.
Okay, Sylvia Lorraine Parsons, thank you very much. Christopher Chidari Kire, Wabaya Dede, Fadrai Makombe, Kudos Kola, Simba Gurira, what an analysis, Vitalis. Betima Kwani Mugabe is deserted. Okay, who else wants to join? Francis, make sure your phone is on landscape. Okay, guys, this is your platform. Let me know my comments if you want me to add you. Anditika. Shelton Tapio Chiangwa, I'll try and add you after. Let me try Francis. Francis, make sure your phone is on landscape. Okay. Nothing happening with Francis. I move on. Shelton Tapiwa Chiangwa can bring you Irulamba. I don't know what phone yako wakaiseta say. Mabani Kennedy Tekere and Cahoots are the people who put Bob there in Sitole's book. It's mentioned avoid Masiraha strategically. Mugabe will keep quiet and not respond to Chiwenga's statement, and that will put more pressure on Chiwenga. I am so sure before firing Ed, Mugabe had calculated his moves. Gladys Msora, well said. Kola. Teorai Rigonye. Okay. Frederick Twende, great discussion here. Guests are clear. Thank you. Obet Mdevere Nguve. I'm adding you Bururu and Atraya. Make sure your phone is on landscape. Okay, let me know my comments if you want me to add you guys. This is your platform. Okay. Can we encourage the women to join in the discussion, please? Okay. Let me try and add some women to the discussion. Maita Kudzwaneshe Mzenda. Make sure your phone is on landscape. Thank you for joining us. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Ma Serase.
Hi, Susu Tamuka. I'm joining you from Australia. This is
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. So what do you make of what happened today?
Inina angu nemaonera angu, being born from a political family, inina angu ndinoona unge this press conference, this step yaitwa na General Chiwenga, it's a step towards the right direction. And knowing these guys very well, to have the guts to be able to have a press conference without the blessing of the President Robert Mugabe, it's one in the history of Zimbabwe. So I think we are heading towards the right direction with this press conference, with what Chiwenga has said to the public. Although a lot of people may say he is supporting his friend, I do agree to a certain point, but he himself as well, being geared for a shoot from the president, is actually concerned about the affairs of Zimbabweans at large. So I think we are heading towards a better place.
Do you see Chiwenga still being General Mangwana or next week? Do you think Wachamdzinga?
It's not possible for Mugabe to wake up in the morning and fire Chiwenga. Remember, Chiwenga is the general of the army, and Mugabe is not safe without the blessings of the army. And Mugabe is not even Grace herself. I think she got a shock on this, because all along ana Chiwenga vanga vachiombera maoko, and isusu as individuals tanga tichingoti but why, but musikuzviona here, but vanga vachizviona, but they have taken upon themselves to say enough is enough. Let's call this a day, and enough is enough. The army is not going to bow down again on this. This is war, and it has started, and they will not look back. Saka Chiwenga either being fired, we have got the likes of Valerio Sibanda who are quiet, but they know and were there in the meeting. We've got Anagudo and Parents Shiri were there in the meeting. If they can fire Chiwenga is just one individual, but we've got about 90 army generals, Varipo, who are supporting Kuti. This has to stop.
Can I ask you as a woman, how you feel about Rise ya Grace Mugabe? Because there are some who say women should be supporting Rise ya Grace Mugabe. You know, possibly the female president in Zimbabwe. Did you celebrate her rise?
Grace Mugabe, as an individual, they akango rise out from an individual corner. There was no problem for her to be the next president of Zimbabwe. It's just like me and her, I can be the next president of Zimbabwe. But this idea of gaining to the top of the ladder through kutsikirira vamwe vanhu because of being the wife of the president or being the first lady, wobva watowana ladha rekuti murume wako achibva pachigaro iwe uchipinda. And as it is now, even though asati ave pachigaro, ave kutotonga, ari kupiwa chigaro chapresident already, even mumarallies or chigaro chavanomupa speeches aanotaura haafaniri kunge ari paplatform iyoyo. Saka by doing so, as an individual, ine hangu, I don't support a person like that. Haasi kuraiza nekuve kwake iye Grace, but ari kuraiza nekuda kwemurume wake.
Wow, powerful words there. Thank you so much. That's Mai Takudzwanashe Muzenda joining us all the way from Australia.
Yeah, this is after 7 in the morning, and our Zimbabwe unobva watoshaya kuti saka what's next, because yes, we were thinking kuti as Zimbabweans we have to mobilize to make sure even us in the diaspora if we can be able to register, tikangobvumidzwa yedu kuti tinoregister kumaembassies ari pedyo nesu, chokwadi we will sacrifice kuenda kumashifti kuti tikwire ndege kunovhota when the time comes. But I hope things will change, and this platform will give us an opportunity to keep pushing that agenda yekuti those in the diaspora be able to register tiri kwatiri koko, then we can come home and vote and change this nonsense.
Yeah, do you look forward to going back home? Is that something that you've included in your plans, or join a brigade? Is this life Zimbabwe? How do you feel about that?
No, I'm Zimbabwean and I speak Zimbabwean. I have not even changed my accent. I speak Zimbabwean and my heart is in Zimbabwe. I will go back to Zimbabwe, and I'm always been in Zimbabwe. I was in Zimbabwe a few weeks ago, and it pains me. And my days are numbered here in the diaspora. Even things get worse or better, I'm heading back home.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us. That's Mai Takudzwanashe Muzenda in Australia. Thank you so much, Ka.
Thank you.
Okay. Powerful indeed. Okay, if you want me to add you, let me know. Jim Elijah Mchesa Mbaira has been speaking the truth. Shelton Chiangwa, and I try kukueda. Phone yako iri kuramba shamazi. Nobos Meso Mbaira has said the truth. Mugabe eliminated top leaders of our party in order to ascend to power. He should go the same way. Richard Soko, we don't need the military to rule us. We want an elected government, period. Betimakoni Ivan Sazita Wahabi. Okay, guys, let me know if you want me to add you. Just tell me in my comments, Omo. Prosper Manyangadze Chiwenga is realistic. Okay, there we go. Christopher Chidaikire Sibanda V is the army commander. Chiwenga is the defense forces commander. Richard Soko, the military is ZANU-PF. Again, be careful what you wish for, guys. And now Oliver Chikumba, we have already put him under house arrest now. Lords are Emma Konesa. Okay, guys, let me see who else wants to be added. Lords, I'm trying to add you. Put your phone on landscape. Tadiwa Chizenga, but ZANU-PF has been doing that in theory, not in practice. Musumpinyuri, people forget the three of Zimbabwe. Make sure your phone is on landscape. Andruku Eda. Okay. Tawanda Mavondo. And guys, I think you are missing a point here. The army has been mentioned repeatedly during the interface. There we go. Betima Kweni, but lower ranks of the army variko havasi kufara at all. Okay, Noel. Okay, there we go. Put your phone on landscape, guys. Let's take a few more calls and hear what you guys have to say. Make sure your phone is on landscape. Noel Dondo.
Hello.
Did you say?
No, right, Papa. Kanjani kusimba.
Mushe. Mazvono says zvaitika Marare nhasi.
Oh, yeah. Yatora a twist yanandisingafungiri nyaya. In fact, I had a feeling of that. You know, I had a feeling of that because Constantine Agarari friend ya Mnangagwa. Saka I knew that everybody was expecting something from Constantine. Right. Then Ava Afunga address a press conference. What I think happened is he did not get the blessing from Grace
Mugabe.
From Mugabe. Yeah, the younger the blessing ya Mugabe ingade taona younger. So
okay. So you were saying
ndiri kutyira Constantine zvikuru pabasa rake nekuti mudzingirwa wakaitwa Mnangagwa akanzi he is disloyal, disrespectful, and what else? Dishonest. Was he dishonest? Though the same thing chaitwa na Chiwenga today. He was very disloyal, and disloyalty yake no show disrespectful to. He's being disrespectful to Mugabe. Kuti anoenda kuna address a press conference zvisina mvumidza. But however, pandisina kunzwisisa, I saw quite a number of army generals were present. So ipapo panenge pachati netsei mudhara kuti kana vachidzinga vanodzinga chirudzi one by one or
because vanenge vari kusapota navakawanda handiti.
Ndiri kuona kuti vari kusapotana vakawanda. Saka the only person out is iye Mugabe. Among the generals, Mugabe ndiye ari kunze chete. Saka ndozvandiri kufunga kuti Mugabe stop Alvin. Ndozvandiri kushaya kuti saka Mugabe apa achazvifambisa sei apa. Because zvechiwa muitiro wazviita nhasi unodzingisa basa.
Okay. So no Dondo, urutibata urukubi, where are you?
Ndiri ku Virginia, USA.
USA. Thank you Mkoma. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lens. Thank you so much.
Okay, Nkululeko Mkasto Sibanda, Ed. I'm not seeing a green camera on your profile, Nkululeko, so I think maybe you're watching this broadcast on your laptop or computer. You need to be on your phone, I think, for us to be able to add you. So if you can watch this broadcast on your phone, preferably using an app, I'll be able to add you, Nkululeko. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. Hanzina Christopher Chidarikire, Lance, please tell viewers this, including the caller now. You have to know the power of a retired general. E.g., is how much power did Solomon Mjuru have after retirement? Philip Sibanda, why do Zimbabweans like to oppose one another on a forum? Why is it so? Is it tribalism? Nkululeko, I'm trying to add you. Please watch this broadcast on a phone. Avoid Masiraha. Iruti can add. No, don't. I've already added you. Evidence Bande. Or Bande, sorry. Evidence Bande can bring you. Shelton, I've tried to add you several times. Iruti can't bring Shelton on camera. I don't know what's the. Put your phone on landscape, Shelton. Isa phone yako pa landscape. Iruramba. Nigel Kuneni, I'm trying to add you. Okay. Timothy Stambuli, power matrix at play. Chiwenga might have already been fired by the time of the presser. It's a counter-attack which will weaken whatever ZANU-PF had in the basket. Maxwell Makanda, good move by the general. Delina Mchkambizi, this has never happened in the history of Mugabe and ZANU-PF, and this is a positive move, I think. Shelton, I continue trying to add you. Iruramba. Des Fungai, and too much drama with no action. Please add. Okay, I'm adding you. Make sure your phone is on landscape. Des Fungai. All right. While we're waiting for Des Fungai, I'll read some more comments. Shelton Tarwire, General Vanomuka Vakafa Mangwana. Maita Kudzwanishe Mzenda, that's a step in the right direction. Well done, General Chiwenga. We now have hope for the Zimbabwe we want. Nigel Kuneni, trying to add you. Freeman Chari, power resides where people think it is. If Mugabe says jump and there's no general on his side, I won't jump. But if the general says jump, even if Bob is not there, I will jump. Okay, Tine Madzorere. Let me go. Can't bring Tine. If you want me to add you guys, let me know. Ndiku add yapo. Sandra Magogo Maposa. Okay, adding you. Okay, Ndanzi, ndisaveringa my comments because you already can see them. Okay, so let me focus on adding you guys. Okay, Sandra Magogo Maposa. Thank you for joining
what is
us.
happening is a bit. I mean, it's a bit selfish from Chiwenga's side as well, because all this time they were quiet.
What do you make of what happened today?
I think Morgan was winning my elections, most of them, and they were saying no civilians should rule or can rule Zimbabwe. And now they are coming up and saying it's only the former fighters who can rule. But do we need that? Is that necessary for us? So that's just a question, questions running in my mind. But I mean, looking forward, I don't think we really need a coup in our country. Look at what is happening in
Hanzi dindingwe rinonaka richa.
My predictions are, well, there are two things that are likely to happen anyway. One aspect is if we assume that Robert, when he
what do you see happening tomorrow?
off,
Do you see Chiwenga still being
he had no
general,
plan and he was not,
what do you
or he did not anticipate
will happen
for this kind of reaction? Then he probably he might be in trouble. But if he had anticipated for this kind of a move, then Chiwenga might just have played in Robert's his hands. And given that he doesn't have a contract, like, you know, the news has been going that most of those generals who were there, they don't have contracts. They are just, you know, on a rolling kind of 3 months contract and stuff. So he can chase them anytime and probably court-martialed. They can be court-martialed. And also, you never know, of all those 90, there might be some who were actually there to be witnesses of, you know, that treason kind of charge at some point. And some of them might even take him in as well. So, I mean, it's not really safe for him to have done that, unless, of course, if he had planned also his moves, then we might be going into some kind of troubled times as a country as well. So, yeah, well, I mean, Namibia and Vindak. No, that's great. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, who else wants to be added? Let me put a few more. Martin Matono there. I'm trying to add you. Put yourself on landscape. Okay, I'm waiting for Martin there.
It requires someone on
No, Londo, I tried to add you. Okay, there we go. Martin Matono there. Did you say?
What we don't know, there's a lot of unknowns in this. First and foremost, we don't know what his move is, because you would assume that he would have anticipated this move happening. And since he's the one who's the commander-in-chief, he can fire the general. And when the general is fired, does he have the same influence? Those are questions we don't know. But we would hope that General Chiwenga, when he makes a statement like that,
pay attention to this,
it's been translated to me, but the statement show support it suggests kuti he knows. I'm hoping somewhere deep when support the boys on the ground, because the foot soldiers are the ones who are going to be telling in this case. And we don't want a coup in the country, but we really want a situation where the president decides to appoint his wife and carry on, which is worse. At least someone else comes in, and then we have a transitional power from someone else other than a Mugabe name. Because my understanding, so Nika Esio Munwan. Message Zimbabwe belongs to a certain family, and that's worse to me, in my opinion, than a military coup, because normally military coups cannot get international recognition, so they would ultimately have to order elections within a set number of months and hand over power to a civilian government. And hopefully in that time, Zimbabwe would have had a chance to sort the voters' roll, because Parisian, we can't have free and fair elections in Zimbabwe. So we can't hope for an outcome where the status quo will change through peaceful means, because there's no way someone in Zimbabwe will win the election free and fair, because people can't just campaign free and fairly. The environment that exists now does not allow for that to happen. Yeah. Well, it may be a valid point, but you have to understand the politicians it's about.
So someone was making the point, Kuti.
Interest with. So it may be somewhere along the line.
Objective.
Kanavanga, at some point they were in line for the president. They are not going to be supporting each other in that cause. But Kanatakutarisa Zimbabwe in general, benefit from either of them being the next president. We are looking at it from a point of view, Kuti, who's got more to give to the nation as opposed to who doesn't. But equally important is who's better positioned to deal with the machinery that's in place now, where systematically people are disappearing. Nobody knows where they are. So all of that, when all of that's happening, you want to hear Msoja and Achita, no, this must stop, because although we want, personally, I would prefer it if the army wasn't partisan. If the army would be non-partisan and didn't get involved in politics, but we know that the army in the past has been used by ZANU-PF to campaign for their preferred candidate, and as long as it was benefiting Mugabe, they wouldn't see a problem with that. It's nice to see the balance of power. It would seem, obviously it depends on what happens from now on, but if this is the first time that we've had a general in the army defy the executive president, as much as it seems unconstitutional, because the constitution doesn't allow for that to happen, but the circumstances are extreme, and these are times where extreme measures may need to be taken when people have to make a stand and decide, do they sit by and watch while something that seems unjust continues to happen? I would agree. I'm inclined to agree with that, because the way she's risen to be where she is has not been, a reputation that she's amassed over the years, because sometimes, people make decisions based on what you know of someone. That doesn't inspire me confidence. President. When the way she conducts herself is not what you would expect from the First Lady. Without going into details, but if you look at even Nyaya Mnangagwa, how she went about attacking him, Kutangana Mai Mjuru, and we now know the allegations about with Joyce Mujuru were not true, but she was the one who went around drumming up those feelings for her to be sacked. So someone who removes other people and just means, is she going to be just in how she conducts herself in the country? The way they've been behaving, the incident in South Africa, just to name a few, there are many things that happen that leave you thinking, is this presidential material or not? So obviously, yes. But the fact of, not only that, even if she's an excellent person, but the fact that her husband has been in charge of Zimbabwe for 35 years, and it's not been the best of years, because look, what legacy has Mugabe left in Zimbabwe? Is it a country that's progressing and going forward? Because if that was the case, why would we begrudge him for appointing his wife? Because we would want more of the same to continue. But the fact that there's been corruption, there's been money going missing, there's been things that you wouldn't expect to happen. So are they going to change when she takes over? I don't know, but I doubt it very much. So those are the things that if anybody has reservations about Grace Mugabe taking over, it would be more to do with her association to her husband, who let's be honest, it's a dictatorship. It's not, although we've had elections every year, they've always been conducted with the opposition crying foul, people not being allowed to campaign properly. So it was a way of legitimizing a dictatorship, if you like. I'm in London, sir. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, Martin Matono's there. Hey, some very good points there. Let me see who else I can add. Right. Let me add. Just let me know my comments or more. If you want me to add you. Mkule Wasbanda, I really want to add you. Put a comment there. Ndo nikanaya kuita. There's Fungai. Nigel Kuneni, I'm trying to add you. Okay. There we go. Mark D. Mtabeni, try to add Yaramba. Okay, let's have one more person, Anditika. Let's have one more person. Let me see. Vanwarda ku add wapo. And na Anis Muyambi. Too much noise in the background. Okay, yeah, end out there. Shepherd Yuda, former prison guard. Can we add you, Shepherd Yuda? Yaramba. Let me know if you want us to add you. Okay, I think noise in the background. Yeah, internet yanga and Shepherd Yuda. I'm trying to add you. Okay, Kule Waswanda. Kule Waswanda, I believe, is a lecturer in the United Kingdom. Make sure your phone is on landscape, Nkulego.
Politics.
Ah, my brother.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing? How is the lecturer in the UK?
Yeah, certainly. I think it's an interesting development, but
just for those
I think Zimbabweans we have to be worried by that. By and large, any threat of war isn't something that we should take easily.
Okay.
And
so
and people who are in war right now will tell you that it's not something to play around with. But there are a few things I think that one can underline here, which is that you can see an overwhelming opinion from Zimbabweans, partly suggesting that, of course, we may be okay with the military coup and so forth. It's not the best of things. That's my take. It's not the best way to resolve any crisis, and I do not think that it will resolve anything at all. And the grudge that the general has against his employer, against President Mugabe, seems to me to be not within his purview in terms of his duty. He would have been okay to make the press statement had he done so without the uniform, and he done so from his private residence. President Mugabe, for all his sins, and he has a million of them, one of them isn't that of firing a general or firing a vice president who has to serve at his pleasure. And he doesn't need to justify why he has fired a vice president. And so the joining in of an army general here, and I'm not very convinced by the idea that there were 90 generals with him today. there isn't an indication as to how many generals are there in the army anywhere. If it's 90 out of 10,000, then, you know, I have a friend of mine that I went to school with who's now an army general. And if he is an army general, he only joined the military, what, 10 years ago? So there are certainly a lot of generals. Yes, sir.
No, I think the actual phrasing was 90 senior army officials. I don't think it was the generals.
Yeah, that's moronic. The
MDC,
anything that happens in the MDC is important to the nation because the MDC is the government's main opposition. The MDC is in parliament. And even if his sort of very myopic and self-serving argument were to be accepted, it still has to be known that the military cannot be, has no responsibility. It is not within his hands to solve problems that are in a political party while wearing national colors. It is disrespectful. It is inappropriate. It is unjustifiable. It is in fact digging on his authority. He in fact is pulling away some of his own generals on the ground who certainly who may not necessarily support his stance on ZANU-PF, the sides that he support, and he is forcing them to make a choice between his Mnangagwian politics and the Mugabean politics. And believe me, there will be people in the army who believe in Mnangagwa very strongly, and there will be others who believe in Mugabe very strongly. What the general has done is ask them to make that choice. And you don't want the military beginning to run itself on the basis of elections. That's myopic, that's self-serving, it is very limited in terms of the futuristic meaning of that. It is very unlikely. Look, the gentleman just jetted into the country a couple of days ago, and there is no machinery or mechanism through which he could have sampled fully what is happening within the army. In fact, the firing of the vice president itself happened too soon for him to be able to gauge and understand what is happening within the military, the rank and file of the military. So any supposition to that effect would be in fact very kind on him in terms of what he'll be able to. They certainly have been, but because the final push hadn't been taken by Mugabe and it wasn't known whether or not Mugabe would actually fire Mnangagwa, you would be hard pressed to find that he had had the opportunity to then take that serious step of finding out where his army generals are. And let's not forget, Chiwenga's side was already known, so it adds no value to him to carry out a press conference. If he's actually serious, what he should have done is take tentative actions on the ground without saying a thing. And a few weeks after coming from China, where it would be conceivable that he has been putting spanners in the works, given the haste with which he's taken his actions, and given the position, the justifications that is given for why he is making the press conference, and given the simple fact that he has chosen to make a press conference as an army general, you see a weakness here. You see a guy who's scared. And I think the theories and the thesis that suggest that Chiwenga is negotiating his contract using the pulpit seems to make sense. That Chiwenga is knew that the X would be coming for him may be true, that he's certainly trying to make sure that he doesn't get X. He makes this serious emphasis that, okay, look, let it stop here. We don't want it to go forward. If you're going to fire anybody next, just fire, please try and fire those on the other side. You've done enough on this side. Yeah. I've never been a fanatic of Mugabe as an intelligent guy, but on this one, I think he'll be intelligent enough to realize that the appropriate thing to do at this moment is to sit it out. The onus is on Chiwenga now to take the next action. He's met the threat to take the next action. He's met the threat. Let him do what he wants to do. If I was Mugabe, I'd sit this out for 6 months while I settle everything out and make myself more comfortable and see what Chiwenga can do. Let's not forget Chiwenga does not have any men. Not immediately. I would fire him after 6 months, certainly. But I think that I think Mugabe will not fire him immediately. I think he will sit it out and be quiet. The actions they have taken by blacking him out of state media suggest that they are wanting to give him a long rope to hang himself, and that he generally either goes quiet now with his people doing the talking, or he may want to do something further than that. And if he does, I think he's got a serious problem. Mugabe has the presidential guard, and I didn't quite see Parents Shiri in there. And in anywhere in the world, the air forces are superior as compared to the army. And Chiwenga doesn't command any men under him. Chiwenga commands the defense forces, not any section of the military. And that means he really doesn't have men under him. And coups are never carried out by, easily by the most senior members of the military. They're carried out by a clever section of the military, not by the commander of the defense forces. Never heard, never done. It's impossible. And if he's thinking he's going to intimidate people, he's making a mistake. And also, you know what? The Zimbabwe Defense Force is not going to carry out a successful coup in Southern Africa. Look at what happened in Lesotho. Look at what happened in Madagascar. The South African Defense Forces won't let that nonsense happen in Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe military is at its weakest at the moment. It could not stop the ZRP if the ZRP wanted to do anything. They are badly armed. They are badly looked after. And that really decapitates an army general as compared to Mugabe, who can actually enlist mercenary services from neighboring countries successfully. The army general can't do that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, there you have it. Wow. Collins Amaita Jikinya, try to add you. Maxo Makanda, try to add you. Okay. There we go. There we go. And then does a president need to be a war veteran? Good question. Okay, guys. Yeah. Anyway, I think let me give you my thoughts on the matter. I think something has happened here. I was speaking to someone earlier who suggested to me that Chiwenga has either been fired or knows that he's going to be fired. That press conference, according to them, had a sense of a last stand, someone who is going out guns blazing. So you can almost sense there was a note of finality about it, as if Munangari Kutaura, knowing they have just been fired. But this is just speculation. Also, this could be a way of putting pressure on the president. Kuti no, Mdara state, you are firing too many people who fought in the war, and you must put an end to this. That's another theory there. There was a crazy theory yakapiwa a few weeks or a few days ago, something to the effect that a Malaysian doctor, or Mugabe's Malaysian doctor, had apparently said Mugabe doesn't have long to live, and this is why everything was being done in a hurry. The airport being named after Mugabe, Mnangagwa being fired, and so we're seeing a lot of things being escalated or accelerated. And the theory is that perhaps Mdara does not have long to live, and they need to get all their ducks in a row before something happens to him. This is just speculation. To discuss out there what is being said. But I think here it's interesting, and a lot of you guys have actually pointed it out, Kuti. When Tsvangirai was on the verge of winning my elections, these are the same people who told us they would never salute someone without a liberation war history. So now, when it suited them, ZANU-PF was perfectly happy to have the likes of General Jinawashe and the others holding my press conferences saying they will not salute Tsvangirai. So we don't want to hear anyone from ZANU-PF complaining about the press conference here and us, because you were keeping quiet when the likes of Chihure was saying a vote will never, and the ballpoint pen will never take away something that was won by the gun. You did not say anything on ZANU-PF when all that was happening. So ZANU-PF invited the military to take part and interfere in our politics. So Nasi, we do not want to hear you complaining about that Chiwenga press conference. If you see them, even Patricia and Jonathan Moyo complaining, you need to remind them that it was only a few years ago where the same people were supporting you and we are not complaining. So yeah, but I think it's interesting because Chiwenga was in China, and when Mnangagwa was fired, we are told Mnangagwa went to China. There are some who are even speculating Zhirunzi Mnangagwa held some meetings with the Chinese president. This hasn't been confirmed yet, but I think this is interesting because you have a situation where the Chinese were kicked out of Chiadzwa. So we all saw that happen. And my Chinese, so there's a growing feeling here that the Chinese are not happy with that development, and that we've always known Kuti Mnangagwa has been a favorite of the Chinese for some time. He's been a favorite of the British. We've seen all those pictures. British ambassador Katriona Liang, Aina Mnangagwa. So it makes sense for Mnangagwa to go to China based on that, Mugabe having fallen out with the Chinese. And also, remember one thing, the chairman of the War Veterans Association, Christopher Mchangwa, is a former Zimbabwean ambassador to China. So some are saying Mchangwa used his contacts to get Mnangagwa to China. This is speculation. But whatever happens, guys, I don't think ZANU-PF will ever be the same again. Things are changing, and yeah, we remain to see. It remains to be seen whether Chiwenga is going to be General Chiwenga from Mangwana going forward. Yeah, we'll continue this discussion, guys. I think Tagarisa, 2 hours is too long. So yeah, for everyone who joined me tonight, thank you so much for your contributions. We greatly value them. This broadcast mchaiona futi pa YouTube Nepanianda TV Nepanianda Radio. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Tobatana Mangwana.